Welcome to another gathering of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. Have a seat by the fire as we prepare to help you unlock the secrets of the travel life. From theme park thrills to Purple Mountain's majesty, we want to see it all and do it all, and we want to help you do the same. We all have those bucket list trips, once-in-a-lifetime destinations that we'll get to someday. We're here to help you make your travel dreams a reality. Buy the ticket, take the trip. Where do you want to go?
Come on, now tell me what's on your bucket list. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day.
Wokka Wokka! We're exploring early 1990s Disney World with the Muppets, and things are about to get weird. But first, travel news, including more details on Genie Plus, Heather's Disney Cruise Report, and Universal Orlando's holiday festivities. Raise the curtain and light the lights. It's time to hit the trail with the Gold Key Adventurers Society. Welcome back to another meeting of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. My name is Dan Leonard. And joining me again this week in the studio is Heather Strait.
Hello.
Jess Evans.
Shaka Waka.
And Mr. Jeffrey Williams.
Ah! You having a stroke?
Someone's
an animal from the
Muppets. I got it.
At your age, I gotta wonder. It's okay. Just checking on you.
It wouldn't be the first one I've had today.
Oh, ouch.
Oh, I don't think he means the medical emergency kind.
Oh.
Dan, really? Last week it was Heather. Now you're gonna bring the show down like that?
Yeah, somebody's got to.
What did I do?
You were working blue last week. You were talking about riding bikes into space.
She didn't care where they go.
We haven't even gotten to the discussion of Gonzo and Camilla yet, guys. Well, our show, as always, is brought to you by Key to the World Travel. Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency specializing in theme parks, cruising, and destinations around the world. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com for more details and a no-obligation quote on the vacation of a lifetime. Guys, we've been working pretty hard the last few weeks covering Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary. So much news.
So much.
Yeah. I think this week we've earned a break, so it's time to pop some popcorn, sit back, and relax with a movie night. But first, we need to get some news out of the way so that we can make with the relaxing. First up, we finally have all the missing details for the new Genie Plus program, which will be available as of approximately the time when this episode drops.
Right now.
Exact day, October 19th.
Wow.
Yeah, give or take.
If we're on schedule.
Got it. I see,
If
we
Disney's on
are, or
schedule.
Disney
see where you're going with that.
I was thinking the latter, actually, but you know.
I'll just say that the Gold Key Adventure Society IT works far better in these instances. So
Typically, that's true, yeah.
So yeah, Genie Plus.
What do we know about Genie Plus, you guys?
nothing. They haven't given us any information.
That is not true.
But I just told the people that they had.
We got an info dump today.
Oh, yeah.
This week.
That's true.
Or-
Yeah, we
or
know
last week,
all
depending on when you listen to
the
this.
attractions that'll be included with Genie Plus, and we know the attractions that will be ill. Did you guys notice that they called it the individual lightning lane?
God.
I mean, that's
So when you buy that, do you have a license to ill?
You have a license to be ill.
I'm just sad that they don't have it for alien swirling saucer, so I can't say that I got an ill ass.
Oh, sweet.
Word.
That is dope, my friend.
Or the Monster Inc. laugh floor, so it's an ill MILF.
Oh,
Ooh.
yes. That's a good one. Wow.
Mm.
Well, man.
No, nothing
Anymore?
exciting like that.
Not that I can
So-
think of. So were there any surprises with the individual lightning lane selections?
There's no surprises.
It's
I mean,
about
it's
what we
questionable
expected.
whether they're needed for some of these, but
Yeah.
they basically had to just pick the top 2 rides in every park, whether they're worth it or not. You know.
What do you think about Magic Kingdom? They got Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. We all pegged that one. But is Space Mountain really the one people are going to buy their way
I was
onto?
surprised
You
by that
guys
one.
all said that it was when we covered this last time.
It's the only
I know.
thing
I
that
said-
makes
more
sense.
I said, I don't know about Space Mountain, and
I mean, I
was
love
told,
it, but I don't know if I'd
Not
pay
for
my
me.
way
I
onto it.
wouldn't pay for it.
No, but it's still popular, and until Tron opens, it's all they got in that top tier
That's true.
thrill ride. So
Do we think they'll kick off Space Mountain and put Tron on when it opens?
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the
I wonder
Hollywood
if Tron will be
Studios-
virtual and they keep that for a while.
Yeah, they could. That's
Wow.
true.
Yeah. Eventually,
the
though.
two new rides, the newest rides at Hollywood Studio are all off. Hollywood Studios and Epcot are all off the virtual queue and on the individual Lightning Lane. Rise of the Resistance at Hollywood Studios and Ratatouille at Epcot.
Yeah.
No more virtual queues for those.
Oh, so Remy's Ratatouille was only virtual now for
Like
that will have been
a
about
week?
3 weeks.
Yeah.
October 1 to 19, yeah.
So Hollywood Studios is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. We pegged that. And Rise of the Resistance. No surprises there at all. Epcot is Frozen Ever After. Someone went, if we put that on the individual Lightning Lane, we're going to make bank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All those little girls are going to pay their $11. What,
Well,
$9 to $11, depending
Those
on the
two
day?
rides are really the only little kid rides in the whole park. So
Yeah.
parents are going to
Ratatouille.
have to shell out or their little darlings are going to cry in line.
Yeah.
They're saying 7 to
then-
15, but
Okay,
we'll
yeah.
see.
And then Animal Kingdom is Avatar and Expedition Everest. No surprise there. Flight of Passage.
7 to 15 what?
dollars
Per ride?
Mhm.
Or
Right.
depending on the
Yeah.
time
Didn't
of
they
year.
originally
and the
say it
ride.
was up to 25
They did, and we kind of were waiting.
and they came down on that?
they don't have anything that good yet.
Well, they've already they've just cut the prices for Disneyland Paris's paid fast
That's true.
pass. So
Yeah.
I have a feeling that
Did
they're just
they?
sort of holding back because they know that they're not going to charge what they really would love to charge for them.
Mhm.
So Disneyland Paris was 10 to 15, right? Was that the range?
I think so, yeah. Originally.
Euros, yeah.
I think they found their flinch point.
I think they
Mhm.
did.
Yeah, 15 sounds pretty big for me for any
I'd
ride.
pay $15 for Guardians or Tron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's the first time I'm riding it, yeah. But like if
Or
I've
the
already
fourth.
ridden it, I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
I
if that
paid
was
for
some
Rise.
average
I've
Joe.
never managed to get on it.
Right.
So
Well,
I
you
would
might
pay
get the
it.
opportunity coming up next month.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What's interesting is you
And-
can't change or cancel any of those
Not without
ILLs.
a cast member's
Right.
assistance. So you'd have to go to one of the kiosks to get
Yeah.
a cast member to do it.
Or steal an iPad like that one guy.
Or that, yes. We don't recommend that.
Hey, wait. So is Remy leaving? Will Remy be not virtual and only on this? Or
Mhm.
will it be virtual and this?
It said
I
this
think
and that.
it will be standby and this.
Yeah, and virtual will be used,
Yeah.
they said, when needed for whatever ride needs it, basically. So who knows? But I think they meant that just for the ones that are staying sort of normal standby,
Mhm.
not paid lightning
And
lanes.
then for the paid Genie Plus, the regular Lightning Lane is, I guess that's what we're calling it, regular Lightning Lane and individual Lightning Lane.
Less lightning lane.
Yeah. It's pretty
Lightning
much,
light lane.
Scattered lightning lane.
It's pretty much everything that used to have FastPass Plus. It's like
Yeah.
50 attractions, right?
Yeah.
Including your swirling saucers, Jess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those will just work like MaxPass did at
Exactly.
Walt Disneyland, California.
That is
Yep.
correct.
I'm disappointed that they didn't take the opportunity to remove it from attractions that have no need for
Like
it.
Journey into Imagination.
Monsters
Or-
Inc. Laugh Floor.
Yep.
Even, Haunted Mansion and stuff, I get why, people are going to be upset that they can't get fast passes for it anymore, but those people are wrong.
It just
But
slows
they've
it all
been
down.
managing the line, the length of the standby lines with the park reservations. They haven't been
Yeah.
ridiculous in a while.
I haven't waited very long for anything.
Me neither.
Like a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, no.
Weird.
Really weird, right?
Something changed. I don't know.
It's crazy.
They must have built an extra track on all of those
I
attractions or
think
something.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we didn't know before that we know now?
A Genie Plus will not sell out. It will always be available, no matter how many people buy it on a given day.
That is
That's-
what they say.
Because Disney's like, I think we like getting money, so we're gonna allow anybody to give us money that
Well,
wants to do
I
that.
think when you combine it with the park reservation system, they can control
Yeah,
crowds better with that.
yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
And I guess
Tell
they're
that
expecting
to
some.
the crowd there on October 1st.
Oh,
They couldn't control cheeseburger output. That sucked.
Did you see those cheeseburgers? They had faces. Come on, man.
yeah. And they had to shut down the Wi-Fi that day. But let's go ahead and launch something that you have to have Wi-Fi.
Mm.
No.
Yes.
Well, that's those damn vloggers. They're there, what, like
Yeah.
12 days a year?
Fighting over Starbucks cups.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And yeah, no word on Disneyland's attractions
nothing.
or start date. They haven't even started getting lightning lane signs on their attractions yet.
No,
So-
I think it might be a minute before
Yeah.
we see it out there.
Interesting.
They haven't brought back Max Pass. Right?
No, they're operating just like Disney World is right now.
No, and they are not happy about it out there. Oh boy.
Their APs are
It's
very
most
upset right
disappointing.
now with lots of things, but
Lots of things. They're having trouble getting park reservations. I read.
Yeah,
Oh,
where
yeah.
where are they
really?
going to wear their cool vests? Just hanging around out there in Disney Springs. I mean, downtown Disney.
Downtown Disney.
Promenading around there.
there's no patches at Knott's Berry Farm you can get to put on there. So.
We also did get confirmation. I think we had questioned before whether you'd be able to use it more than once per attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And they did say this is a one and done, much like the base level of
Yeah.
Universal's Express Pass. So
Mhm.
one lightning lane pass per attraction per day.
That's how they can sell it to more people.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to
there
see
was
how
some
it
outrage
actually
about
works.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, is there going to be some unlimited level someday that you can pay more and go
Oh,
on the
guaranteed.
rides? as
I'm
many
surprised
times
you
as
Club
want?
33 people haven't gotten an email about a special lightning
Well,
lane
yeah.
edition that you guys could get.
Yeah, we have that. It's called
Yeah.
Pay Your Dues and Ride What You Want.
Yes.
It's the really expensive version.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer that eventually, if there's an opportunity to upcharge Genie Plus, they're going to upcharge
Yeah.
Genie,
Yeah, I think there
Genie
will be
Double Plus.
I
There will be
expect
some
they'll wait till
level
it-
that's between Genie Plus and the VIP tour.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like the Supermax Pass or whatever.
It's like an unguided VIP tour, basically.
Ugh.
secret double Genie
Or
Plus.
if they can just
pass.
charge you $250 per guest per day to ride any of the rides.
They
I'd be
used to have
all
that
about it.
level at Disneyland Paris, and they did away with it.
Yeah, we bought that.
Mm-hmm. It was great.
I loved it.
I think you're going to end up seeing like they had at Disneyland. Well, maybe not. Disney World's crowds are different, but I know that at Disneyland, even after several years, the percentage of guests that were actually buying Max Pass on any given day was relatively low.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah.
it'll be
I think
interesting to see how that goes at Disney World.
I am curious. I feel like it's going to be a big success, and a lot of people are going to buy it. But until the 19th, then we see what happens.
I think a lot of people will, but I think, like he's saying, a lot of people won't. They kind of have it in their head. They're going to stand in line, and I'm not. It's like people that carry on everything. They won't pay to check a bag or
Right.
whatever. I'm not paying $15 more, $25 more, $50, whatever it is.
I'd like to be behind the scenes on this because this is interesting because, with the original Fast Pass, it wasn't so much something that you could easily buy the day of and use the day of with the 60-day window and all that. This is something you could buy halfway through your trip and still sort of have the same access that somebody who planned to get
Right.
this from the start. So
Yep.
it could be something where people change their mind as the day goes on, and it definitely opens up a lot more sales for them, I'd think, in the long run.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
One thing that I've seen people ask, and we had a Zoom call for our agency last night asking this, can you, and we won't know till the 19th, I suppose, but can you see the availability at all before you agree to pay for it?
Interesting.
Because they do sell out. So you could pay for the Genie Plus and then look and there's nothing left that you can
Yeah.
get a
I
time
don't think
for.
so because they're going to do blocks just kind of like they did with Max Pass, and these are the blocks that are open, and if you want them,
Mhm.
so I don't think they'd be sharing up that info too readily
No.
because they want you. They're like, well, just take one of these, please. Just take one of these blocks.
Plus, that's a lot of extra work on the IT end of things that I don't have a lot of faith in. So
Right.
What? Their IT is impeccable.
It's just Stitch. And that's all I ever see on the website. So, I mean,
I think it's more peckable than impeccable, but that's
It's actually fairly peckable.
it's very peckable. There's a lot of peck.
Oh boy! Well, Heather, tell us about that cruise line that they've got there over in the Disneys.
Yeah, I spent last weekend on a Disney cruise, and it's the first time I've been on a cruise ship in almost 2 years, which is kind of
When
crazy.
did you sail last? Christmas of 19?
Christmas of
Into 20?
19. It was the New Year's Eve sailing in 2019, going into 2020, and I don't know if we broke 2020 or what on the Disney Dream.
It was you.
Yeah.
We brought in the new year on a cruise ship, and I haven't been back until just last week. So it was crazy. You know, it was great. I didn't know what to expect in terms of whether I was going to have a good time, knowing that I'd have to wear a mask a lot. And the truth is that it just sort of the mask wearing felt like normal life for me, because I do tend to, even though I'm vaccinated, I do tend to put on a mask when I go into a store or a crowded indoor place, just because I don't really trust everybody else. So
I like going incognito too, not running into someone from high school I don't want to talk to.
that's true.
Bonus.
So it was just you had to wear it indoors until you sat down at a place where you could possibly eat or drink. Even if you didn't have a drink in front of you yet, you walked into a bar, sat down, took it off. No big deal, really.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time in bars.
Just to change it up.
Sounds like a normal cruise to me.
Yeah.
And you spend a lot more of your time than you realize outside on
Yes.
deck too.
Out on deck, don't have to have it on. So when you're up there on deck 11, no big deal. And they really still have everything that you think of when you think of a Disney cruise. The character interaction was still there for everyone. You just weren't right next to the character, hugging them to get your picture, just like in the parks. And they had them out constantly in the little atrium there. Characters were always out.
What's the
It's
process
Halloween
like to get
sailing
on the
stuff.
ship?
This part was also a little nervous about it, and it was super easy. You get to the port. If you drive yourself, you drive into the garage, and they do the COVID test right in your car. So
Oh,
the way that it's working right now is everyone 12 and up has to be vaccinated. And in addition, everybody tests before they get on the ship. And the process was really smooth. So if you drive, you test in your car, and then you just sit in the car until you get the email with your QR code that says you were negative and you're clear to go into the port. If you're not driving, you arrive by you get dropped off via the bus or a car service. You get dropped off and you walk into a big health screening tent, which is air conditioned, which is good because it's hot. Sitting in a hot, unair conditioned tent would not be fun. So you go into the health screening tent. It's self-administered COVID test. Do your little swab, stick it in the vial, and then they send you into a waiting tent. And the waiting tents are also air conditioned. They have those really fancy porta potties that you can rent at upscale
like the
events.
trailers.
Yeah, like it's a big air conditioned trailer, and it's got a sink with water.
Hello,
and
me, a
everything.
fancy mobile shitter.
That's right. So you got those. They do. I would recommend if you have kids, or if you're the type who gets hangry, bring some snacks, because there's no snacks or anything in the tent. You have to bring your own. We waited maybe half an hour for our test results.
Yeah, I couldn't possibly go half an hour without
I've
eating.
heard that it depends on what time you get there. If you get there when a lot more people are arriving, we were pretty early, it could take an hour and a half. So just be prepared. They have a big TV screen that's playing on one half of it. It's playing Mickey cartoons for the kids. And then on the other half, it's just lists of stateroom numbers. And everybody's sitting there watching for their stateroom numbers. So your number will come up when they're testing your sample. So you'll see it and you'll know that they're doing your test. And then it'll say testing. And then if you're cleared, it will say terminal. So you can go into the terminal now.
That should be if you're positive.
And then
Sorry.
if you see your stateroom number and it says return to tent whatever for consult, you are not lucky.
You're going to Disney jail.
Yeah, so what happens if your antigen test is positive is they take you and they do a PCR test, a rapid PCR. If that is also positive, you will not be getting on the ship. Wah, wah. I didn't see that happen to anyone, although we did see up on the screen a return to whatever tent for consult. So somebody in there had to go retest. But
Whoopsie.
yeah, and then actually boarding is interesting. So they check you in before you even get to security. You used to go through security and then you'd get inside and check in.
Go to the desk to check in.
They've moved those to the lower level outside security. So you check in, you show them your passport, they check you in.
Is it
on their
literally
iPad.
outside? Because security is just inside the door.
It's, you know how you go in the door and there's like a glass area and then beyond that you go in another door and you're in security? It was in that like sort of glass hall.
Huh.
They don't give you your keys. They put your keys on your door. So they just check you in, send you through security, and you go upstairs to where they used to have all the check-in desks. They've actually taken half of them out. So I suspect that they're planning to keep this new system for a long time. And they're only letting a very small number, like they let in boarding group 1 gets to go into the port all at once. And then boarding group 2 is still held outside in those tents until it's their turn to go in. So there's nobody up there.
Isn't that funny? They built this big, beautiful terminal, and now you're all out there in a crappy wedding tent in a parking lot.
Now, you know, once COVID is done and they don't have to test everybody, I assume they'll be letting more people back into the port again. But then when you board, this part was a little weird. So there's no sail away party anymore. So what happens is you go scan onto the ship, and you're all waiting in that hallway because they're only letting about 10 groups into the lobby at a time. You go into the lobby and they direct you to this big circle on the floor, and your whole group stands in this circle. And I hadn't read anything out about this new process, so I had no idea what was going on. We're all just standing there in these circles, looking around
port terminal?
in the lobby of the ship. Once you get on and they say your name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Straight family, welcome, and they clap for you and everything. They still do that, but then they direct you to this circle, and you stand on it. And you stand there for about 5 minutes wondering what's happening, and then Mickey and Minnie come out, and they do
They spray you down with disinfectant.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mickey and Minnie in their hazmat suits.
They hose you down.
They come out, and they're, there's that balcony that overlooks the atrium. So they're up there singing and dancing, and it's kind of like a mini sail away party. And then, yay! And then
Mickey.
Once they're done, yes. Once they're done, they're like, okay, everybody shoo. And you have to leave the lobby because it's time for the next 10 groups to come on.
And Mickey and Minnie run backstage and help.
Can you skip that crap? I don't want to see that. I want to go straight to the bar.
You could say you don't want to see
circle.
that and leave the lobby. Yes.
Yeah.
They assume that everybody, when they get on and see the beautiful lobby, is going to want to take pictures of like the Donald statue and all that.
Yeah, they assume
You could skip
incorrect.
I would have skipped it had I known what was going on. I wasn't sure if we were being rounded up for dishes duty or what. I don't know.
You're probably wondering why I've invited you here this evening.
Papers, please.
But this next part was my favorite part, and I have it on good authority from Disney Cruise Line that they're going to keep this, and it's the new muster drill. And all you do is you open, they do everything through the app now. So you open the app, and a little thing pops up that says, it's time to do your muster drill. And you click start, and it says, okay, follow the directions to your muster station. So the app tells you where to go. You get out to your muster station, and you know how they have those signs with the letter on it that tells you this is muster station N? You take a picture of that, upload it into your app, And that is it.
What about if you have 5 people in your group and they're kids?
You are supposed to, only one person has to do this in the app. So one
There it
person is the representative.
I'm sending someone else.
Yeah, I
You
was
are
about to say.
supposed to. It says on the app that all of you must go there together.
Mhm.
And there is a crew member there who's supposed to check and make sure that you're all
One
there.
at each must.
Exactly.
That's so much better because it was
Still,
always
yeah.
so awful to try to get back down or up to
Yes.
your room.
I
from there.
hated the muster drill. Like,
I don't know. This
It didn't matter getting to it and standing outside.
Yeah.
That was all fine. But then when they're like, okay, you're all dismissed, and
Yeah.
7,000 passengers
But
all
you know,
try to hit
somebody
the
caught
stairs. And,
something standing smashed in with all those people in the hot Florida sun.
yeah.
oh, yeah.
This sounds like a real Titanic situation waiting to happen, though. You know,
So,
like
well, that is
everybody running around with
Yeah.
no idea what to actually do.
that's not the final thing. So you do that so that they know you know where to go. They still then hold the safety drill at 4:00, but they broadcast it on all the TVs throughout the ship. So they still shut down, like, the bar servers, they have to stop serving. The shops are closed, all of
That's
that.
an outrage.
So that they want you to stop what you're doing and watch a screen, and they still go through the whole safety thing. And the announcements are over the ship telling you, this is what will happen, this is what you do, here's the ship's horn, all of that still happens. But you're just not all shoved out there on deck together. And Royal Caribbean's been doing something kind of similar for a while. You had to go to your muster station and watch a little tiny video about how to wash your hands. But then that was about it.
Yeah.
And then the staff still does their safety drill where, they're putting on the life jackets and going to the station. And all of that still happens.
They're the ones more likely to forget where it is and what to do.
Well, they're the ones who have to be, in an actual emergency, they're all stationed throughout the ship telling you what to do. So it's really, they're just relying on the crew members to know what they're doing. And it's so great. You save so much time and you're not out there in the hot sun. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then after that, a lot of the differences were that they do everything in the app now. If you buy a drink in the bar, you're not having to sign a receipt. They just say, okay, I sent it to your app. And you go in the app and you give them a tip if you want or not.
Nice.
Oh, I
And
like
you
that.
close it out.
Because I
Oh.
don't
The
want.
future.
Yeah. Even in the spa, they ask your room number and they send your bill to your app and you close it out. No, we did discover what happens if you don't close it out. It automatically 24 hours later says, okay, we're done here. We're closing it out and charging you.
Hey, what about the room? Well, what about the room key? Do you still have to present it to charge and then it goes to the app, or is it you don't ever even use it?
In the
other than
store,
to-
we did have to present the room key in the store, but not to a bar server or not in the spa. It was
Nice.
only in the store. And now that I think about it, I wonder why we even had to do it in the store. But you didn't hand it to anybody. They had the little reader.
It's probably a different system. One works like a hotel where it's charged to the room, and the other is a retail system where they have to have a.
Yeah, that's true, because you
method
could
of
use a
payment.
Disney gift card in the stores. Yeah, that's a good point. But they weren't taking it from you. They just, you held it to the little reader.
Oh, I like that.
And that one in the store, I'm trying to remember. I think in the store I had to sign on their iPad. I don't think it went to my app.
I would assume all of the cruise lines are doing similar stuff.
Yeah, and it was a great time. They still had Disney trivia, and they still had all those those types of games. You didn't have to wear a mask when doing any of that because they held all of those in a bar. So you could have water or a beer or whatever.
I've never been one to drink. But
Yeah.
Was there a designated period of time where they paraded out all of the unvaccinated people so that you could
Well,
cheer and throw
there
tomatoes at them?
They are
shame.
all of the unvaccinated people for right now are under 12 because everybody,
Oh, that's right.
everybody old enough.
Can you
That
still
would've-
pelt them with
That
rocks
would
and
have been
garbage?
fun. Yeah, if they had just given us Rotten Tomatoes. And yeah, Castaway Cay was great because it's all outdoors, so no masks on Castaway Cay.
Yep.
Except inside the shop.
Hey, how about the food? What's it like now? Any difference in the buffets and whatnot?
The buffets are cafeteria style. They serve you instead of you grabbing all the shrimp and the crab legs yourself.
That's probably smart.
Yeah.
It's probably good for their bottom line, too.
True.
Maybe
that
it's
is
like
true.
the cafeterias here in the South in the olden days where you, may I interest you in a bread item, sir?
Would you like some ambrosia?
Although I did see Aaron Jensen eat about 2 pounds of shrimp. So
Scrimp.
yeah, still. Then I have to admit, I did not have dinner in one of the main dining rooms. I ate at Paulo twice and Remy once.
Well,
Okay.
aren't you
Rough.
fancy?
When there's
It
that
was
few
rough.
people on there, you might as well.
That's right.
Lardy
It was-
freaking da.
It was delightful, and nothing is different in Paulo or Remy. Let me tell you, you're not wearing a mask. They're still serving you delicious.
Which ship were you
delicious
on?
food. The Dream.
Mm.
hmm And it was a dream. It was great. I really, really loved being back on a ship. I gotta say, I love to cruise, and it was wonderful. And I'm ready to go back.
Yeah, I want to
And no
check out the
Nassau.
Wish.
No, Nassau. Yeah, that I loved that. It was a 3-night cruise, and we just had one sea day and one day at Castaway Cay.
Seems like they could double dip at Castaway.
The 4 nights they are doing that. Every Dream 4-night sailing is double dipping.
I guess they need one at sea day so they can make money off you.
Yeah.
This is true because at Castaway Cay, the shops on board have to be closed.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
And I did do a little shopping, so
Weird.
Yeah,
yeah, isn't that
we're all
nice?
shocked.
This is new. They
They need
still
an
have
Apple
movies.
store on those ships.
Yeah, they still have movies in the movie theater, and you do have to wear a mask when you're watching a movie. But they had Shang-Chi was what was on board. Shang-Chi, Jungle Cruise, and Raya, and the what? Last Dragon? Yeah.
Those being the
Raya
only
and
movies that
something
are
about a
out. So.
Yeah.
The only Disney movies they've put out in 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're only running one show right now on the Dream. It's Beauty and the Beast, and you get a night to go see it so that they can physically distance the Walt Disney Theater.
Tale as old
There
as
were still
time.
fireworks. So that was cool. It was a 3-night, and it was a Halloween sailing, so we didn't really have a pirate night. We had a Halloween night. Mickey and Minnie and Donald, everybody was in their Halloween costumes. It was cool. We had some adult beverages that they had in the Cove Cafe is not
I'm
only
shocked.
delicious coffee, they also have a full bar in there, which I don't remember ever noticing.
You've
They had
ordered
a
drinks from there before.
Very impressive bourbon selection. Well, we had some espresso martinis, and they used that cool beverage printer.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They put a Frankenstein's monster on my espresso martini, and then Aaron's had 2 scary pumpkins on it. It was cool. We felt festive.
Nice.
And we had booze.
It just makes everything feel festive.
They don't do trick-or-treating. What they do is instead the stateroom attendant delivers a giant bag of candy to the stateroom of every family that has kids.
Can I just get that on a
Madam,
normal
it's your 12
cruise?
pounds of candy.
Yeah. I tried to pretend that Aaron was a child so we could get a bag of candy, but it didn't happen.
Can I still do lit bags of flaming dog poop and put it in front of other people?
I don't
Doors?
remember if you were ever allowed to do that on the cruise, but
Didn't
Alright.
stop him
if you were
before.
doing that, then okay. They still had all the same entertainment, in
Allowed.
the adult district, match your mate and karaoke and whatnot. Hilarity ensued. It was fun.
Good.
The kids clubs, you book a time for the kids clubs. It's not you can't just drop them off whenever anymore, so that they can limit the number of kids in there. And it's probably a good idea because the kids club is where the unvaccinated people are.
Yeah.
So stay away from there. Hopefully not rife with COVID since they were all
Yeah.
tested outside, but
Hopefully.
it's a great time to sail. Really, the prices are phenomenal. And the ships are not very full. Ours was the most full sailing since their relaunch, and it was only half full. So now's the time to cruise, folks.
Yeah, I was looking at the Wish for the summer because we were thinking about trying to do the Wish as soon as we can, and there's still some availability on August sailings and into July.
And
I think
prices are not bad. I mean,
No.
the prices are fantastic on the Dream and the Fantasy and the
Did
Wonder.
the Wish already launch and I missed it?
Not yet. No.
It's not sailing yet, but the bookings have launched.
When is the first sailing?
Maiden Voyage?
Maiden Voyage.
Yes, that will be June 9th.
Ah, yes. And do we think they've put better Wi-Fi on the new ships?
Ugh, don't get me started. We had conversations about that. The Wi-Fi is not good.
Yeah.
But if
It's
you're
actually a
looking
carrier
to
pigeon.
unplug and if you're looking to unplug and relax, that's the place to do it.
I'm not.
Especially on Castaway Cay. There's no Wi-Fi on Castaway Cay.
Well, thanks for that trip report.
You're welcome.
You would like to find out what it's like to cruise right now? Contact Key to the World Travel. And speaking of festive entertainment fun, Universal Orlando Resort has announced some of their holiday plans for the upcoming wintertide season.
Yes, the holidays are returning to Universal. We got word that November 13th through January 2nd, Christmas at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and Grinchmas at Islands of Adventure, as well as the Universal's Holiday Parade featuring Macy's, because they're trying to get in on the long name game. All of these things and more will be returning to the resort, and that's going to include food and beverage options, themed merchandise, and the hotels will also feature seasonal decor and activities like carolers and crafts and whatnot. So they do a pretty good job with the holidays.
Crap.
And crap, all that crap, all that
Carolers and crap.
all that festival crap, But no, the holidays are really great out at Universal, so I'm excited to see that stuff come back. The hotels specifically do a really great job with their decor. Big fan of that.
I'm glad that they're finally decorating the Wizarding World. They didn't do that the first few years.
It's like Hogsmeade's kind of already decorated
Yeah,
for
I suppose
Christmas.
that's
Snowy.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is surprising because, I mean, the Harry Potter is pretty entrenched in Christmas. Like every book, every movie has a Christmas scene.
Definitely.
It's kind of funny though, because it's like it's so heavily the image is there, but it's not like really a pivotal part in any way.
No, it's just that the
I mean,
British
we
really
mentioned
love
that
Christmas.
shit.
Like the British love Christmas as much as we do, if not more. So
And they say Happy
Definitely.
Christmas, and that's fun.
Yeah, that's
It is
delightful.
fun.
they spell things with a U where they don't belong.
And they never say that somebody asked something. They always just say that they said it and put a question mark at the end of the sentence. I'm rereading the books with Presley right now, and I expect to see the word asked, but it just says said, and it throws me every time because I'm an American and not a British person anyway.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, last I
Who
checked.
knew?
Wouldn't have known by the
Your
accent.
accent was not a tell at all.
Also in Universal news, though, some sad news for fans of old rides. Shrek 4D and the Fear Factor show are closing at Universal.
Fear Factor has never once been open when I've been there.
No,
yeah,
I've
neither
never.
for me.
The good news is they're keeping the donkey show open,
I
though.
was going to ask.
Well, yeah, Jeff's got a job still, so yeah.
Yeah. I prefer my stage.
As I said to Dan in text when we were
Fisty
talking
McFisterson.
when we were talking about Shrek closing down, as I said to Dan, Dan was like, "Well, I don't think anybody's sad about that." And I was like, "Well, Julia Stiles has to find a new place to sleep, so
Oh.
There's always Fast and the Furious.
that's why the party bus smells weird."
Which one is she?
She's Shrek.
That Shrek 4D, I think I did that attraction the first time we went there when my son, who's 20, was about 8 or 7. I haven't
I
done
don't
it
know
since.
if I've ever seen it.
I did that a few years ago, not understanding that the seats were basically torture devices. And old and barely working. And I almost threw my back out just sitting in a theater show. It was not fun. So see you later, Shrek.
that space isn't so huge either. I don't know what they're going to be able to do there.
No, it's going to have to be another theater type show. And I mean, Universal loves their screens, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get another sort of 4D type of experience in there. But
Something like the Minions ride.
well, they took away the 3D aspect from Minions, so I don't know.
Did they?
It's just a regular screen now. There's still movement in the seats, but you do not
God,
wear
that
glasses.
thing made me so vomitous.
I think that was why, was that they were getting more complaints than they were people enjoying
the
it.
Jimmy
so.
Neutron show that was there before did not, but that one really made me sick.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of like I have no insider knowledge whatsoever, but if I had to guess, I'd go with Secret Life of Pets.
Yeah.
That's
Because
a really
they've been putting those in at all the other parks.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible dark rides at the other parks, and so they'll give them a 4D screen show.
I'd like to see one with animatronics, because the Secret Life of Pets animatronics in their Superstar Parade or whatever, they're adorable. Like, they look great.
They are cute.
They look really well made. So
Have you seen the dark ride?
yeah, I've seen the footage of it. It looks
It's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
And my son loves those movies, so it's like that audience is there. Those kids love it. So
Yeah.
I was wondering,
I've never
are they
seen
really
one.
popular here?
Yeah, they're pretty good movies.
yeah, kids love that stupid damn bunny that Kevin Hart plays.
Yeah.
Stupid damn buddy.
You're really selling it.
Speaking of stupid damn bunnies.
Julia Stiles?
And I usually am.
Yeah, you usually am. No, I just wanted to say, because it's been a while since we've even really mentioned this, other than at the kind of closing credits type of thing, which I think about
Most listeners don't get that far.
right, about approximately 14% of the audience listens to the last 3 minutes when I say all this stuff. But I just wanted to say that, first of all, we appreciate all of our wonderful listeners out there, and we've been having a pretty good couple of months, and we've got a lot more wonderful listeners out there.
Yay.
And yeah, it's always a
Even
good
somebody
thing.
in Russia.
Well, we might lose them tonight.
We got a pretty good list. We got some listens from the Netherlands today
Ooh.
Ooh.
and Germany. So
You can send your wooden shoes to Jess Evans,
Yeah.
care of the Gold Key Adventure Society.
just come on up here to South Canada, and we'll take you to Holland.
Yes. Dutch Village.
Yeah, you can see the shoes
Yeah.
being made, my
That's
friend.
right.
Yeah. Oh, Jeff would love it. It's all kinds of Dutch hokum.
So
I
much
love hokum.
Yeah, come on up for some Dutch hokum.
Mhm.
Well,
And
anyway,
beer.
so I just wanted to remind you that if you really like our show and you want to kind of help us with this momentum that we've been building lately, one great way, there's 3 really simple, quick actions that you can take to help us out. 1, make sure you're subscribed to the show so that you don't miss a single episode. And 2, tell your friends how much you like us. Number 3 is head to not iTunes anymore, Apple Podcasts or the podcasting platform of your choosing, and leave us a rating and review. That way, strangers can see how much you like our show too, and makes them more likely to give us a shot if they think that it sounds really cool. I wanted to share 2 reviews with you guys. I don't know if you've ever looked at our reviews on
All the
podcasts.
time.
Yeah, I bet. They
Where
people
are
say
they?
some really nice things about you guys. So I figured I'd share some of these. So the first one is a little bit older, but it's from our very good friend and coworker and Gold Key Adventure Society superfan, T. Perry. You know who you are.
Oh, I think I know who that is.
Is that
Yeah,
T-Pain?
so,
The singer T-Pain?
yes. And no, I will not be doing this. Although I kind of wish I could. The headline says, "Good lighthearted fun, 5 stars. I love listening to the Gold Key Adventure Society on my daily commute to and from work. Filled with the most up-to-date theme park news and updates, it also has interesting stories of offbeat and unusual travel destinations and some hilarious roundtable discussions. It's so nice to have a podcast that is just fun. No notes to take, no lectures on how to improve myself, and no political debates. Unless you count Dave's campaign against Epcot."
Well, you see what
That
happened
did
to
get
him.
pretty heated.
Yeah, exactly. You haven't heard his voice in a while. You never know where the conversations will go. It's just like having a regular conversation with your friends.
Epcot always finds out.
That's true.
That's right.
So thank you, T. Perry, for the very kind words. And
Love you,
one
T-Pain.
other one more more recent review from last month from listener Jen SW. Says informative and fun. Guess what? 5 stars again. We must be pretty good.
Out of a possible 12, so that's pretty
Well,
good.
you know, it sounded good until Jeff spoke up.
So close.
Which is how I feel about most episodes.
That
Hey-o!
is fair.
Informative and fun. I get all the latest travel info from the Gold Key Adventurers. Love that I get all my Disney updates plus news on other travel too. And I'm all about the sense of humor.
Oh,
So
good.
thank
That's
you.
important.
That's a good
That's right.
thing.
Yeah. So thank you, Jen. And if you guys out there want to leave us a really nice review and rating, it would make us feel good about ourselves and help other people find the show. And maybe we'll give you a shout out and read your review on a future episode, because I'm going to start trying to do that.
I could really use that. I've been feeling a little down lately about myself, so you guys could
Oh.
throw in an extra. There you go.
Mhm.
Attaboy. That'd be
Somebody
nice.
Give Jess an attaboy.
Somebody give me a little virtual pat on the back, please.
Weekly affirmations for Jess. Come on, guys. Let's fill his bucket up, as my kids say. Elementary school. Anyway, stick around, because after the commercial break, we're going to take a look at the 1990 TV special, The Muppets at Walt Disney World.
Waka waka.
When it comes to planning your next adventure, knowledge and preparation are always key. That's why a call to your Key to the World travel vacation planner should always be at the top of your to-do list when you feel the urge to venture forth and explore the world. Key to the World Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner, specializing in travel to Disney theme parks around the world, as well as Disney Cruise Line, Aulani, and Adventures by Disney. With over 450 travel advisors who share a deep love for Disney destinations, Key to the World Travel has a wealth of knowledge and passion to help you experience all the magic with none of the work. Wherever your wanderlust is driving you, Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency with the expertise to get you where you want to go. So whether you're headed to Universal Studios, Hawaii, Europe, or somewhere a little farther off the beaten track, your first step should always be to visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a no-obligation quote. Their expert travel planners are standing by to help you with every detail of your perfect vacation. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com or at Key to the World Travel on Facebook. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation.
Well, just a few days ago, Disney Plus gifted us with the modern masterpiece that is Muppets Haunted Mansion. Yes.
I've yet to watch it.
Oh, it's a masterpiece. It is. It's so good.
It's the movie that Haunted Mansion deserved
It is.
compared to that other thing,
Yeah.
The thing we will not speak about.
which I don't hate it nearly as much as Jess, and I still much prefer Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Serpents and spiders.
Well, the good news is we're not talking about Muppets Haunted Mansion this week, even though I guess that would have made more sense. This week, we're headed back to the year 1990. First, there's a couple of things that we should probably explain for the Gen Zs in the audience, although I don't know.
1990 was a year where your parents...
Yes.
There were years before that started too.
No one
You know
had
what?
iPhones.
Yeah. Well, also back then, if you didn't subscribe to the Disney Channel, which is this thing we had before Disney Plus, where you
Yes.
had to watch whatever they were showing on their schedule, not just whenever you wanted to watch it. Man, there's so much to explain here. Well, if you didn't have this Disney Channel, then you had to wait for Sunday night to roll around so that you could see the wonderful world of Disney to get your fix of Mickey Mouse. Some weeks, you'd get to see a favorite major theatrical release, like one of the animated classics or some live action movie. Other weeks, you would get a made-for-TV special.
Yep.
Those were not always the best production qualities, but they were always definitely special. Tonight's feature was first released on May 6, 1990 to celebrate the recent purchase agreement between Jim Henson and the Disney Company.
Oh, is that why they did it?
Yeah, which later fell through. And I'm not going to say that one of these things has anything to do with the other, but just 10 days after the broadcast of the Muppets in Walt Disney World, Jim Henson died.
Too soon.
So,
Too soon.
so make of that what you will, but
Ouch.
anyway, let's get started, and we're going to pick up the showing. So for another thing that you should probably know is that every week, Michael Eisner, who was the CEO before Bob Iger, he would do a little intro to the movie, and it was always kind of cringy, but a little bit funny, and he would do something.
Cringy.
I mean, but who else misses him now? Come on. Like,
I mean,
for sure.
yeah.
I watched that like I had seen my grandpa for the first time in like 10 years. I was like, oh my God, Eisner, why? Come back.
I know, when you got that Wokka Wokka from him, but let's not jump.
And listen, if Chapek had shown up at the beginning of Muppets Haunted Mansion, I would have thrown my child at the television. All right, like, don't get any ideas, Chapek. Keep your ugly fat thumb head out of my shows. All right.
And he's not a small child, so that would have taken some effort.
Expressed on Gold Key Adventures, not necessarily those of Key to the World Travel.
No, but they may be what Bob will hear when he's walking through the Magic Kingdom on the 50th anniversary. I've heard people were shouting some not very kind things at him.
Well, I deserve to hear some not very kind things. Yes. Well, I'll edit that part out. Anyway. So Michael Eisner is sitting in the lobby of the Grand Floridian
Beach Resort.
Yes,
Really?
the Grand Floridian,
Beach Resort.
Yeah.
I never knew it was when it opened. It was called that.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
That's why they had the
Weird.
Beach Boys film the Kokomo video there.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that either.
I've told you that on the show before.
I
Yes.
can't listen.
I did not put two and two together.
I think my favorite part of that was the fact that Fozzie's mom looks like she's made out of parts of the Grand Floridian. Like, if there's a Muppet that embodies the Grand Floridian's grandma aesthetic, it is her.
Yeah. So Fozzie Bear and his mom are there having tea with Michael Eisner.
Yes.
Fozzie very accidentally on purpose gets some butter on Michael
Butter all
Eisner's
over.
sleeve. That's after they tell a bad Fozzie Bear joke, and Michael Eisner gives a really good Wokka Wokka with Fozzie Bear. I really enjoyed that part.
I did. That's true.
So the Muppets come and help clean off his suit, but of course, Muppet chaos means that
They tear the arms off. The
yes. Because those wacky Muppets, and he just gives a really good look to the camera and says, "They're here." And we
haven't cleared the check yet.
Yeah, bad news, guys. That sale's going to get reversed not too long in the future. So next thing we see is the Muppets walking through the swamp, which we learn is the swamp where Kermit the Frog grew up.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a Floridian, which I didn't really know until this special.
I didn't
He
know
and
that
Tom
either.
Petty both grew up in that same swamp.
He's Florida man.
Yes, Florida Frog. And one thing that I noticed is hadn't thought about is it's always kind of disturbing when you see the Muppets using their legs because they're walking, but it doesn't
Yes.
look right because there's no actual weight.
It
on
looks
their
like they've
legs,
had hip
and they don't-
injuries and they're like,
and their ankles don't bend, so they're like, it's very odd. And the other thing that's very disturbing that we're not going to go into too much detail right now because there's a more appropriate place to talk about it later, but Gonzo
bathroom.
tells Camilla the chicken that they're finally getting the romantic vacation that they've been waiting for in the middle of this swamp. So just keep that in mind because I don't think as children you really pick up on the fact that
Gonzo's trying to seduce a chicken.
no, Gonzo has successfully seduced a chicken.
He's got a
Yeah.
chicken fetish.
That chicken
this
is fully
an
on board with
interspecies-
whatever Gonzo's dishing out, okay? Like,
This is 100% an interspecies
Yeah, it's
relationship.
that hook in his nose that she likes.
Oof.
His nose.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all the Muppets are complaining about being in this swamp that's very muddy and full of mosquitoes. And Kermit tells Piggy that, don't worry, we're headed to paradise, which it's revealed that is the name of the shack where Kermit's family lives. And he has a whole bunch of cousins and grandparents that he rattles off their names. It's very rednecky. Here, this is my cousin Daryl and my other cousin Daryl kind of.
Yes.
I was very excited by this to see Kermit's unvaccinated extended family. This was really like something cool for me to see these
I have
guys.
to say, watch the little intro part at the Grand Flow, and then do yourself a favor and fast forward as quickly as you can until they enter the gates of Walt Disney World.
I did watch this on 1.5 speed, and I started it at that point. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
The swamp parts are almost
Not good.
unwatchable.
Yeah, it's a little rough. So Miss Piggy gets offended by one of his cousins, and to defuse the situation, they sing a song about being down in the swamp. Then Kermit tells them that they're there for the annual Frog Fest and Bug Fry.
Which I'm pretty sure is a festival we've covered on the show, right?
I think it's a good thing.
That's
I'm pretty
Epcot during the
That and after the
between
baby
festival
jumping.
holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they tell him what goes on during this, that they usually, after they eat their flies and sing some songs, that their cousin Casual mentions that later at night they'll sit down and listen to the sound of Walt Disney World's fireworks, because conveniently Walt Disney World is located right behind the trees behind their shack.
Mhm.
I love that they can't
So-
see them; they just listen to them.
That where I'm assuming that where this swamp is where the bridge crosses on the new walk from the Magic Kingdom to the Grand Flow.
Mm,
Do we
yes.
assume that's correct?
I think
That
you're- I
swampy
think that's
marsh
pretty
area
It does
there?
smell like it's over there, so probably. Yeah. It is probably where some redneck frogs live. I'm with you.
Hey, they
Picking
clean
up
the
what you're
alien
putting down.
swirling saucers daily. I forgot to mention that at some point a bucket fell down and landed on Beaker's head, because that's going to become a running joke that we don't need to mention again. Just
Never.
assume that if Beaker's on screen, he's going to have a bucket stuck to his head and he's going to run into things. So all of the other Muppets bail on Kermit. They say that Disney World is a much better option
So
than
much
hanging
better.
out in the swamps. And so we go there and we get a 90s park montage of the very early 90s.
And in classic, every story, every show that ever goes to Disney World, they they enter through the gates of Hollywood Studios or MGM Studios as it was, but then they're like jumping over to
Yeah,
Big Thunder Mountain, and
I love how. Yeah, they're
They've got the
instantaneous.
ultimate-
Yeah.
Like, I would have liked to see Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem sweating at a bus stop for 20 minutes, like complaining that the other resort has had 3 buses come by while they've been waiting, you know?
Well, what was weird is Miss Piggy she has to get to the Chinese theater.
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
there with, who is that?
because she's a
guy?
movie
I
star.
can never remember that guy's name. He's like the custodian, and I can't remember his name.
Beauregard the bear. Beauregard.
Yeah.
Beauregard.
That's
yeah.
why,
Beauregard.
And
yeah.
he's trying to take her on rides. So he tells her, no, it would take you a long time to get to the Chinese theater because we're in the Magic Kingdom. And they ride Big Thunder. And then he says, let's go to Star Tours.
Yeah, Star Tours is right over here.
There's one point where they're standing in front of Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, and he looks to the left and he's like, there's the Chinese theater. And I'm like, no, it's to the right. You guys don't know what the hell you're talking about.
So anyway, after the montage, we end up at the gates of MGM Studios, as it was at the time, when they meet their kind of antagonist for the show, which is, his name is Quentin Fitzwaller, the incompetent security guard, played by the consummate Muppets guest star Charles Grodin.
Charles Grodin really
R.I.P..
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was probably his best role next to Midnight Run.
I don't know. Problem Child. Or wait, no, was he Problem Child or is he Beethoven?
Yeah.
Was he
He was
Problem
Beethoven.
Oh,
Child?
Beethoven. Problem
Beethoven,
Child
yeah.
was
Was
Ritter.
John
right?
Ritter,
John
yeah.
Ritter.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Sorry.
You're right.
Yes.
Rest in power.
So Kermit discovers that he doesn't have any cash with him. So he says, sorry, guys, we're going to have to go back to the swamp because he really wants to spend time with his family. At which point Animal tears out the turnstile and all of the rest of the Muppets just kind of flood in and say, see you later, suckers.
They all just storm Disney World.
This is kind of shameful after what Disney did for them buying the property, and then they turn around and be scofflaws like that.
That's right.
That's true. I did like the joke that Kermit says that he has a credit card, but he left home without it.
Yes.
Ooh, that joke was
Oh.
more dated than I am. That was.
I did not even get it. That joke is so old until
I
you
know,
just
that's-
repeated it.
That's another one that the imaginary Gen Z listeners won't understand. Ask your mom about that one. She'll explain
Yep.
it to you guys. Yeah, so they all go in to explore the parks, and they spread out, and Fitzwaller goes on a hunt to track down the Muppets to try to bring them back to justice.
With the help of Rizzo Rat or whatever that
Rizzo, yes.
Yeah, he bribes Rizzo with some food, and then we pretty much for the next 30 minutes or so get a montage of Muppet mayhem around the parks. Like Jeff mentioned, they are magically connected so that they can travel at the speed of light. And we start off with we see Gonzo and Camilla at the Wonders of Life Pavilion.
Yeah, I think they mentioned like writing Body Wars or something like that. I was like, oh man,
you want to do this or go over to
that ocean thing?
Yeah, that ocean thing. That's what it was. What my favorite thing here is the clothing on the people in the background. It also looks like they filmed this ambush style. I don't think they shut down the parks.
No, you can see people like totally staring and pointing and talking.
Like, what in the world's going on over there?
It reminds me of the at the end of Muppet 3D where the wall blows out and you can see out into the park and everybody's got, the 90s neon hats on and the Mickey balloons don't have the outer layer on them.
Yeah. Later we'll see a thing where they like shut down at the beginning of a parade and shot a scene before the parade went through.
Yeah, when Charles Grodin's coming down and there's people like waiting for the parade. They're like, what is this?
Yeah.
No one. It's so funny. It was almost guerrilla style that they.
Yeah.
I feel really sorry for the Muppeteers who had to work the Miss Piggy Muppet on Big Thunder Mountain and crouch down under there. I watched that and I was like, "Oh God, somebody's head injury!"
Is incredible. The bugged out eyes they put on her for that, so good.
Yeah. So Beauregard, as Jeff mentioned, drags Piggy onto Big Thunder Mountain, and that ends poorly. And it's going to set up another running joke. There's a lot of those going on. So we cut quickly to Rolf, who ended up at a rarely seen, and a lot of people don't even know it exists or existed, the Pet Care Center.
It still exists.
Walt Disney World, yes.
Still there.
Yeah. Who knew? You can drop your pets off for the day while you go to the parks.
I don't think it looks like an old lady's living room like it apparently did in that special. They cut to that and I was like...
They real quick went over to the set of the Golden Girls back behind the Hollywood studio.
Yeah, that's right. That was there.
Yeah. So a cast member mistakes him for a stray and catches him and
I don't have an odor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He doesn't believe him there. Cut back to Piggy's getting off of Big Thunder Mountain, and then they head over to Star Tours.
As one does.
As one does.
That's what Disney Genie's going to do for you in a few weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Run across the quickest resort.
Way to get there.
Yes.
Rizzo tells Fitzwaller that if he wants to find the Muppets, that he needs to look for the weird and unusual. And right then, he gets a call on the radio that there's a sighting of a guy with a bucket on his head and a Scandinavian chef in the middle of Epcot. And so those guys definitely fit the bill for weird and unusual.
He's making lutefisk tacos.
Yeah, can we get the Swedish Chef Svenska's taco stand at the next Food and Wine Festival, please?
With the three different hot sauces, you got like mild, medium, and hot and tot sauce, hurt and tartan sauce. Yeah, so that's always good. The Swedish Chef with his weird human hands.
Did you guys ever hear the story about the letter of complaint that the Muppets got about the Swedish Chef when the show first came on? It was told by one of the Muppeteers. They got a letter from someone who was of Swedish descent who was very offended and said he's not speaking anything of the correct language whatsoever. It's offensive. And they wrote back, yes, we know he's not Swedish, but he has a family and we really don't want to put him out of work. So we're just not going to say anything.
Your flume is urky-dookie.
And see, that's the wonderful thing about this era of the Muppets, that they lost for a while and started to approach again, actually, a little bit in the Muppets Haunted Mansion, is the kind of, I don't know, not quite anarchic, but a little bit anarchic, but they're willing to go out there and say the crazy thing. And there's definitely some things coming up that some jokes that
Yeah, I have
They
a
could-
The
whole
Electric
list
Mayhem
of-
storyline is my favorite.
Oh yeah, it's great. But first, Fuzzy and Ma, not Fuzzy Bear, Fozzie Bear. They want to have lunch at the Crystal Palace, but they don't have any money. So Fozzie's mom has the idea that maybe he should do some stand-up comedy to make some cash so that he can buy her lunch.
He's comedy busking at the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Disney
And
really
we'll see
loves
how
that.
Right. We'll see how that turns out later, but I bet you it's not very well. And then we see Statler and Waldorf riding down the middle of Main Street, USA in one of the horse-drawn carriages, I think, or is it?
They're riding in the
bus?
trolley, and their wonderful
trolley.
straw hat outfits made me think that they really need to change their name to the Adult Diaper Dans.
I loved that part. Statler and Waldorf are my favorite, and I like how they're like fighting over this
Poor
random
little
old
lady.
broad that's sitting between them, and then they sing a song which I don't recall ever hearing them sing before.
No, yeah.
And they
Who's
sing
your
about who was
girlfriend?
the woman I saw you with at Epcot.
At Epcot.
But they're going down the street and they're talking about how it's so beautiful, it's so perfect, and so clean, and I hate it. There's nothing to complain about. And one of them yells, "Somebody shut this dump down." And I can't wait to be in the middle of Main Street, USA and yell that the next time.
And no one will get the reference.
I know.
Maybe
But,
one of our 14 listeners will be there.
That's right. It'll make me happy and feel good.
That's right.
Yes. Somebody shut this dump down. So now we get to
Because it's so perfect.
yeah. The Electric Mayhem that Jeff brought up is in World Showcase. and
And what do rock stars want to do
more than anything else in the world? and Animal goes, "Oh, I know.
Besides that, that's so funny. I like a nice Muppet sex joke.
Yeah, we'll get more of those. But obviously, the correct answer is go on a world tour. And where else can you easily go on a world tour than around the World Showcase?
Now, did they ever actually have an open top double-decker bus that went around?
Yeah,
World
they were
Showcase?
great. They were awesome.
Yeah,
I love them and miss them dearly. They were a lot of fun.
The omnibus, you could ride
Yep.
those, and then for a while they had them just with characters would go around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw those.
The World Showcase is usually so packed. Nowadays, they just can't
They
drive them
would run
through.
people over.
Yeah, I mean, I can hardly get a scooter through there.
I can hardly stumble drunk through there.
So they do a musical number around the world, and they change into various ethnic costumes.
I
and
can't
sing
decide
about-
if I like them in lederhosen better or in their serapes in Mexico.
I feel
They're
like
both
this
very good.
might be one of the things that they wouldn't let them do anymore.
Yeah,
On the list.
probably not.
They sell all those items in those.
Yeah, that is
Pavilions.
true. But
It's
someone
probably
would-
less
someone
offensive
would
on the
cry about
Muppets
When
than some of
I
the pictures
will
you
say
see
when
from
they
tourists.
did the simulated donkey show in the Mexico Pavilion, that was probably not okay by today's standards.
But wouldn't that have, I'm sorry, that would have been my
Remember that
best
scene.
day at Walt Disney World ever, to be drunk at La Cava and then have somebody come in and be like, "Hey, we need people to come watch the Electric Mayhem out here for free."
Yeah.
Yes.
What? Okay.
The greatest day of my life.
Yeah, I'd be like, "That's it. I'm done. I'm good."
And
can
watching
die now.
them, I had never noticed before, but the puppeteers who do those characters are so good at making them look like they're rocking out. Like they look
Yes.
like they're playing those instruments. And I never noticed. It looks like Dr. Teeth might have hands and gloves that he was playing the piano with. They look,
Yeah.
Yeah, he has
Yeah,
real
he's
hands like Swedish
He's
Chef
like
does.
Beaker, where he's got the real hands and the weird body.
But then Zoot on the sax and what's the guitar? Floyd, I think, is the guitar player.
Yeah.
They really look good. They really do
Janice
that.
is always so stoned doing her background
She
singing.
is.
They're so good. I love it. So then Piggy, we're back to more Piggy torture.
Yeah.
That sounds weird. She goes on a rough ride on Star Tours.
She
I've
wound
never-
up at Flame Tree Barbecue.
Oh.
Ooh.
Put her on a spit.
We get a brief shot. Fozzie's in the middle of Frontierland trying to do some stand-up, and he's just bombing terribly. Nobody
Terribly.
appreciates his jokes, which you know,
Until Is that what happens next, or is it a little later?
That's a little bit later. We'll find the solution that. First off, though, Ralph has made himself comfortable in the pet station, and he's made friends with all the dogs, and they sing a song.
He's playing the piano.
Yeah, with all of his doggy friends, they do a parody of the dogs playing poker and some dogs playing pool and all those kinds of...
Pet care centers always have a piano in case one of the dogs is musically inclined.
Well,
I just want to know why
thing.
some of the dogs were up behind bars in there and some of them were allowed to sit on the furniture. Like, this just seems like, did they pay more to have their dogs on the furniture? Just saying.
Either that or it's the ones with behavioral problems. We jump quickly back to Piggy in distress again, this time on the Teacups. And if you thought the guys on Big Thunder Mountain had it bad, can you imagine the two Muppeteers who were down at the bottom of those teacups? Because they get a lot narrower at the bottom than at the top. And somehow there's two guys crammed down in there to Muppeteer. But also the motion and the sounds coming from Miss Piggy in the teacups were a little disturbing. It wasn't quite so much that she was in distress over a thrilling theme park ride. Yeah. I didn't want to get too blue, but you know what I'm saying. It was. Yep. I didn't care for that.
She was getting porked.
She was getting the old Beauregard, if you know what I mean.
I don't. Would you like to explain? Or should I just go to...
Talking about the janitor's penis.
Oh, okay.
It usually is.
Yeah. Next up is the section that I wanted to fast forward through. It's Kermit is sad because he's missing out on Frog Fest. And fortunately, young Raven Simone shows up to make him feel better by singing Rainbow Connection for him.
Still better than Bill Cosby showing up.
In my notes, I wrote down, kid from Cosby Show ruining Rainbow Connection.
Yeah, that was rough. Yeah. I haven't talked a lot about the scenes with Fitzwaller and Rizzo hunting for Muppets because as delightful as Grodin is, they weren't as exciting to me. But there was one quick joke. They're in the studios and the pig from space walks by, and there was just this throwaway line that I loved where he says, "I'm looking for a place where I can get a macho T-shirt with some cute mice on it." I was like, yeah. I get it.
And then he answers him and says, "Hey, wait, that was a Muppet."
That was about 5 years before he came out of the closet. So he was still finding himself.
At this point, Piggy gets really upset at Beauregard and says that she's done with thrill rides, you turkey, and she's going to find the Chinese theater. We get a weird interlude where Snow White is meeting people in front of the hat shop, and Animal decides that he wants Snow White.
And
to
this
be
is one of the things on my list of things that they wouldn't be able to put in a show anymore.
Yeah.
Animal chasing Snow White.
Yeah, that was a little predatory, and
he's always been so lustful. It's been a little borderline.
Yeah. Lady.
I think they call him problematic now. I think.
Yes.
I mean, he's no Pepe Le Pew, but his
shoulder rubs are a bit aggressive. I'll say that much.
Oh, I kind of miss the old Looney Tunes. They were bad.
Yeah,
it's so good.
So good.
At this point, Kermit decides he needs to round up the gang, and first he finds Fozzie Bear. His comedy is still bombing, so he tells him that maybe he's playing to the wrong audience and he should go across the street, which conveniently is the Country Bear Hall, and we get an interesting assortment of bears.
So who were those two weird-looking bears with the hats?
I wanted to ask that,
I think I fell asleep during this portion. I do not remember this.
Them before.
Were they? There was
like lady bears wearing.
Yeah, they look like acrobat bears or something. I don't know.
Was it the two that come down from the ceiling?
No, they were not Country Bears because this was they
were weird.
They had Brer Bear and then like two of the Country Bears and then these two rando bears that I've never seen.
Okay, there's one of the 1940s package movies. I think it's Fun and Fancy Free. There's the short Bongo the bear. He's the bear who rides the unicycle. Mm-hmm. And then there's a girl bear that he falls in love with and he steals her from her big burly bear boyfriend. That's who that was. I don't blame you for not recognizing him. And who knew that they had walk around character suits for those probably obscure characters?
Not me.
Yeah, they're probably over in Paris now with all of the other super obscure costumes.
Or Japan has a special culture devoted just to them.
Yeah, probably. those are the parents of Duffy Bear. Don't write me in, Zach, and tell me where Duffy Bear really came from. I know the story.
Zach's yelling at his phone right now.
Yeah, he's the only one who knows. Yeah, but so Fozzie is definitely a hit with the Country Bears. Next, we go down into the Utilidors, where we're going to talk. Okay, we're not going to use any adult words, but there's some adult ideas that we're going to get to here.
Gonzo stooping the chicken.
For one thing, it's pretty neat to see the Utilidors and to see the industrial laundry facility. This is the actual laundry facility.
Hey, Walt Disney's Laundryland.
And Gonzo sings a song to Camilla titled "Love in a Laundromat."
Yes. I think that's what inspired "Love in an Elevator" later for Aerosmith.
Yeah, it's a similar kind of vibe. It's like it's a little more. It's like a 1950s makeout song between a whatever and a chicken.
A Gonzo and
a weirdo and a chicken.
Yeah, a weirdo and a chicken in a laundromat. And he's got, Jess, you've got thoughts, so go for it.
I just have one big thought. We are made to believe that Gonzo is stooping a chicken.
Yes.
I as a child, that didn't dawn on me. I was just like, oh, that's cute and funny. It's a chicken. And now as an adult, I'm like, they're really hammering this home. Like, they're really...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well,
and then you go back and watch...
He was crazy for chickens.
Yeah, you go back and watch some of the other... I mean, from the very first Muppet movie, it's... Yeah.
And in the original show, he wasn't just into one chicken. He had like a bevy of chickens. So,
well, yeah, the hen house. I mean, he is a verifiable chicken breeder.
So much for the adult language.
Oh,
hey,
Donald
I've got
checks out.
I got Donald Duck to back me up here.
Yep.
I just found an excuse to say that. How often do you get to say that?
So he was the original chicken guy.
Yes.
Take that, guy. Yeah, so that was a fun scene. And actually, I liked that song. It was a pretty funny song. After that, basically everybody kind of convenes at the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, and they're selecting the audience volunteers at the beginning, and of course, when they're looking for a sturdy peasant woman, they select Miss Piggy. She's looking pretty rough after the various thrill rides, so they choose her. And then when they say they're looking for a real Tom Selleck type, obviously the only option is Kermit the Frog.
Kismet the Frog.
Yes, Kismet the Frog, as Grodin says repeatedly. And then we get into this weird thing where they become the stars of the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, and they kill a bunch of Nazis.
Yeah.
See, but my favorite thing about that was that Jim Henson was so against having violence as part of the Muppets that Kermit decries it like 3 times. Like, I hate violence, and then shoots Nazis. Like,
yes.
Well, then he shoots him, and then like, "You okay, guys?"
He's like,
"Hey, I'm good."
Yeah, and then when Miss Piggy just unloads the machine guns from the airplane onto the guys, she goes, "Miss Piggy, how are we going to explain this to Big Bird?"
I didn't catch that.
I love that line. Yeah.
I don't know when I've seen so many Nazi symbols in the Muppet production.
In a Disney film. Yeah.
I know. It was surprising. So it was good. They did, a lot of the big stunts from Indiana Jones, ending with Kermit was too much of a wimp to punch out the German mechanics. So obviously Miss Piggy went and took care of that for him. Yes, what she does best. And then Animal decides he's going to help, and he blows up the stage, I guess. He tips over an oil can and sets the whole place on fire. At that point, Fitzwaller catches them and calls his boss, who, of course, is not Michael Eisner, but it's Mr. Mickey the Mouse.
Mickey the Mouse.
And we're talking early 90s laid-back yuppie Mickey with his little open sweater.
Turns out he's a friend of Kermit the Frog.
Yes, they are both members of the FASA, the Fictional Animal Stars of America Guild. So Kermit gets on the phone with him and clears things up, and the Muppets are invited up to his office, which I was kind of neat.
Looks
It's
a
also
lot like
kind of-
Walt Disney's
It
office.
did.
Yeah,
And
but with an
it's-
animated Mickey Mouse in there.
That
I thought
part
that was weird. They're all
confused me.
puppets, but then they
Yeah.
don't have the like suited Mickey. They have
It's a cartoon.
animated Mickey.
And Mickey asks where Miss Piggy is. And then
Mhm.
did you catch his expression when she came in through the door?
Yes,
He
I
was
did.
he was like, va va voom.
Oh, they had a
He was
thing.
feeling that.
They had a
He's like,
thing.
it's like, I'm going for the other white meat tonight.
Oh, you didn't.
Well, that's clearly what his look said. He was
It
looking
is.
for some. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Mm. And Miss Piggy
Headed
wanted
off
to.
energy.
Miss Piggy had the hots for him. That's actually the note I just noticed I have is Miss Piggy wants to f Mickey. So I saw it the other way around. It's
Well,
right
yeah,
here.
she does. She is upset that she is upset that her outfit is ruined from the stunt spectacular. So she
Oh,
she
it'll be
asked
ruined,
for her
all right.
Purse.
It's ruined from the spectacular.
Oof.
Oh, gross.
The blue dress.
Oh, guys, we're almost done. We're so close. She asks Beauregard for her purse so she can go freshen up. And she comes back in a completely new dress with perfectly curled hair and
Yes.
fresh makeup. Mickey's very excited to see them. Mickey tells Kermit that, as we always say around here, when you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. And Kermit says, well, we always say that someday you'll find it, your rainbow connection. And Floyd from the Electric Mayhem says, there they go again, arguing philosophy. Just thought it was funny. It was-
My favorite part was as the credits were crawling, it was the rest of the ABC lineup being
Yeah.
announced for what's
Oh, yeah.
coming next, and
I
it
love
was
that stuff.
followed by Alf and 227.
That sounds like a beautiful evening to me.
doesn't
Get me a
it?
pizza. I'm done. I'm good.
Come on, Mary, let's go shopping.
Hey,
What is 227? I'm not old enough for 227.
What?
Jack A.
Guys,
Yeah, you are.
May of 1990, I was 6 years old when this happened.
Stop.
That's enough out of
My
you.
ears.
Actually,
my ears.
actually,
That
I
was
was
roughly
6
my
days
age.
short of 6 years old.
I was in
So-
the 10th grade.
227 starred Jack Hay and Marla Gibbs, who was the maid on The Jeffersons.
Jacques.
Jacques.
All about her.
I am.
I'd like to
verily-
thank
I
Jack
am-
A for her hand in my puberty.
Oh,
And then you're
wow.
what?
That was unexpected.
So Mickey welcomes the Muppets to the Disney family. They've got a big musical number while they are putting their handprints in the cement at the Chinese theater. They're
Oh,
back in the
yeah.
swamp, and they realize that Piggy's not there with them
They left Miss Piggy behind.
because she got so busy taking pictures and signing autographs for fans, and her shoes got stuck in the cement.
I
And
think we know where she really was.
back in Mickey's office. under the
Mickey's
desk.
office.
Yeah, she was knee deep in Mickey on that one.
God. Challenging ideas. We'll remove the curse words, but there's
Oh,
definitely some challenging ideas in this episode. It's
Challenging.
been a while.
It's barbecue time.
I challenge any of you to get a good night's sleep tonight after the foul things that
Seriously.
you've heard in the last half hour.
Well, I mean, part of it is the fault of this show. It was.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the Muppets. It was always a little naughty,
Yep.
a little fly under the radar adult jokes and humor and weird interspecies sexuality.
And that's why most of the Muppets productions in the past 10, 15 years haven't really worked as well. Because they've gotten a little too precious.
I loved the Muppets, the two more recent movies, especially the first one
Yeah.
with Jason Segel.
That
Yeah.
one was good. A lot of the show, the recent shows they tried.
Yeah, because they dropped the blue humor.
A couple of years ago, Bo Burnham has written an entire Muppet movie and all new songs, and that was supposed to be a thing, but I don't know. That
That
was
I
like
would
3
definitely
years
see.
ago. That was, yeah,
I wonder if some kind of like global disaster put that on.
may have
Huh.
slowed that, put
There's
the
been a
kibosh
global
on that.
disaster.
But I hope it comes back around because he has the entire movie written and all the songs done.
Interesting. Yeah. So do we have any other final thoughts on this incredible special that we just...
I really just loved seeing how the parks used to look.
Yeah, me
And
too.
figuring out where they were shooting from, some of the angle. There was an angle of Big Thunder Mountain. I'm like, did that used to have a lot more space between
Mhm.
That's what I
open
was thinking.
space in front of it? There was like a lawn in
Yeah.
front of Big Thunder.
That's I
Oh,
was thinking
yeah.
that too. I was like, I couldn't put my head
What
around
was
how that was
that?
working out. It must have been like where they put the docks and stuff. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. That's the fun of all of those shows is figuring out where they're shooting from and whether I've stood there or not, and what's there now, and that sort of thing.
Well, when did Splash Mountain open? Splash Mountain had to have been open.
This was 1990, and that was, I think, Grand Floridian. I looked that up. That had not, I think that opened. They were probably filming in there while it was empty and not yet open.
Oh, interesting.
That was part of the thing, was to announce the Grand Floridian Beach Resort.
Yeah,
It
Splash
opened
I
in
didn't
Mountain.
90.
realize it was that late.
Splash Mountain opened in 1992.
Yeah.
So
Oh, there you
that's
go.
why there wasn't, because they hadn't extended, like, the walkway along the boardwalk along the river didn't exist until Splash Mountain because of
Yeah,
there's a
because
lot
where
more green
Fozzie was
space.
performing, there was a white picket fence instead of that log fence and boardwalk and all.
Yeah, there's green space there and stuff until they took it out to the river's edge.
Yeah, so there was like a lawn between the walkway and the Big Thunder gate and entrance.
Yeah. And, like, yeah, a lot of space,
Mhm.
surprisingly. There. Interesting.
That's my favorite, looking at just how everything used to look back then. And I didn't realize how close Big Thunder Mountain Railroad was to Star Tours.
They had the jumping fountains at Epcot.
Ooh.
Yeah. We should make this a regular thing where we revisit people specials where they visit Walt Disney World.
Oh, and there's some atrociously, amazingly bad ones out there too.
There's
that we,
plenty
Oh,
of them.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, how about the one where Mickey Mouse, the stars of Cheers are in Walt Disney World, and then Mickey Mouse ends up in the bar?
I haven't
Or
seen
was
that.
that just
one.
an
I
episode of
haven't seen
Cheers? Maybe it's
I
just
was
an episode of
thinking
Cheers.
of like episodes of shows where they go to Disney World.
Oh, yeah,
like
those are good
Blackish
too.
did it, and Malcolm in the Middle, and
Boy Meets World had, for some reason, those high school students had
Full House.
a ridiculous
Step by step.
access to the backstage areas of the Seas Pavilion.
Oh yeah.
It's like late at night and there's unaccompanied minors in the dolphin tank area. Thanks for hanging out with us again this week. If you're excited to follow the trail of the Muppets around Walt Disney World or explore anywhere else in the world, Key to the World Travel has... I'm doing this off the dome because I forgot to write this part. Key to the World Travel has the Electric Mayhem's psychedelic tour bus full of expert travel planners ready to make your vacation dreams a reality. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com to get started on a no-obligation quote. Don't forget to catch up with our friend the Theme Park Professor for all the latest theme park news and tips at www.themeparkprofessor.com. Word of mouth is the best way to help us grow our show. If you have a friend or two who you think would appreciate our special brand of globe-trotting jackassery, tell them what makes our show so great and send them our way. You can find links to subscribe to the show on your favorite apps and all the latest updates at www.goldkeyadventures.com. We can't wait to hang out with you again next week, and we'll see you real soon.
Bye, y'all.
Goodbye, everybody.
Eating at Flo's killed Jim Henson.
To ask a question or share your travel story, you can reach us by smoke signal, carrier pigeon, or send an email to goldkeyadventurers@gmail.com. And make sure you follow the Gold Key Adventures Society on Facebook and Instagram. A huge thanks to our sponsor, Key to the World Travel. For all your travel planning needs, visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a free quote and help planning the trip of a lifetime. Tell them the Gold Key Adventurers sent you. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation. Thanks to Outer Vibe for the use of their song Wokka Hey for the intro and outro of our show. Find them on Facebook at The Outer Vibe or check out www.outervibe.com for tour dates, music, merch, and more. We'll see you next week for another meeting of the Gold Key Adventure Society. And until then, remember, life is short and the world is wide. So go have an adventure. I have heard Jess say some absolutely appalling, just despicable things, and I have never seen anything get that kind of reaction out of him before. We finally found his line.
Yeah, that hit different.